That's very funny. Right. This one wandered into my tent this morning. Come along, Pascal. Don't bother the doctor. Did he get into your stores by any chance? No, he woke me from my sleeping bag. He was licking my face. A friendly one. No need to be frightened, Doctor. I'm not. Of course. You know, Richard, I much prefer a hearty dinner of wild game to what we had before. Never could stomach those tinned rations, least of the peaches. Is that so? I admit, I might be a little biased. Har! From where I'm from, you could get fresh peaches by the bundle, right off the tree. Is he from Georgia? Bite into one of those and it takes me right back to my childhood. Yes, peaches native to your home island, as I understand. Apple didn't quite do the flavor justice when they decided you should all have them. It's all too processed, I say. Well, concessions have to be made in order to encourage further production. Are you sure this is issue with flavor, or you simply prefer to live off the land? Ah, yes, the great island of Georgia. You know, it may just be that. I admit, there's a certain satisfaction in gathering your meal for yourself. It's how we all did it hundreds of years back. Thankfully, those days are long behind us. Anyway, I must attend to the day's requests. We have another confrontation here for us? Morning, Captain. I think I'm going to miss the summer when it leaves us. Why's that? Winter means colder. Colder means having to waste more fuel on this bloody thing. Not looking forward to that, let me tell you. Yeah, we are out of stuff to burn, unfortunately. Let's go to the tent. Oh, wait a minute. Let's not go to the tent. We have our engineer, who is sick. But he has healed the freezing amongst the crew, which is good. Now, let us take our requests. Oh, we have so many people to talk to. Mr. Zack, what do you have? Captain, a suggestion. The ice at this camp seems stable enough that we could conceivably drill a hole through it. For what purpose? Ice fishing. I understand the crew are quite adept at the pastime, and it would prove a pathway to gather more food. I like this plan. Good plan, Mr. Zack. Certainly, I'll assign some crew to that. 3 crew? Who's a good fisherman, do you think? You look like a fisherman. You also look like a fisherman. And you do as well. Done. Thank you, Captain. I'll direct them in their duties. Perhaps we will catch something worth our while. Watch a leopard seal comes blasting out of the hole. Kurt and Hammond together. I'm telling you, you're jumping the gun here. And I'm telling you, you're out of your bloody mind. Gentlemen, what seems to be the issue here? Apologies for bursting in like this, but winter's on its way. We need to hunker down as soon as possible. If we want to survive the cold, we'll want the camp to be set up for the winter in 2 weeks. And you disagree with this, Kurt? You want protection from the elements, I understand, but I know just how long the winter can last. If we haven't stockpiled enough food, we'll starve to death waiting for the weather to clear. So you would suggest a longer hunting period? Much longer. 5 weeks if we can. 5 bloody weeks! Winter will be hit by then, are you mad? Did you ever see 8 Below with Paul Walker? I did not see 8 Below. We have enough to live off. 2 weeks is all we need. I'm sorry, have you been on the ice before? You talk like you have. I don't need experience to have bloody sense, do I? Men, calm down. There's no need to turn this into this agreement personal. Captain, your thoughts. Hammond is right. We can't risk waiting too long. I agree with Kurt. We should take advantage of the hunting season for as long as possible. I will have to think this over. You both make good points. But we've lost loyalty with everyone. Enough of both of you. Captain Shaw will think the matter over. I trust the captain's choice. Perhaps 2 weeks from now, circumstances will change. We will see. Now, if you'll both carry on with your work, fine. Okay, I trust you, Captain. I wanted to do a middle ground. I wanted to do, like, maybe 3 weeks of hunting and then get ready for winter. We have Runt and we have Nutley. It's actually a good movie. There is a leopard seal in it, and it is terrifying. Captain, I've been thinking. What is it, young man? Well, I'm not a very good sailor. I'm small and I'm not very strong. Well, we're sorry to hear that. But I still want to help. There's plenty of sailors, but not many scouts, or scientists, or engineers. Oh! New engineer! Well, those roles require quite specialized skills. I can learn. Dr. Nutley loaned me his books, and I've been learning to read. I can still help, just a little. Well, earning a doctorate is quite out of the question in this scenario, but training isn't out of the question. If you're diligent, I suppose you can be taught some of the basics, enough to lend a hand at least. That's what I thought! Captain, please? Speak with Hammond, he'll show you the engineering. We need to replace the man we died. We died, we got him killed. I doubt Hammond will have much patience for the boy, though I suppose that impatience will lead to quick results if young Ward has the will. Nutley! Captain! He died, Jim. Kurt's game of rugby was a rousing success. Everyone was eager to get involved. Decorum! And loyalty! Even yourself, Doctor, you don't seem the sort. I'm not, but Kurt dragged me into a game. I was tackled fairly hard. I'm still feeling it, to be honest. I'm not alone. I'm not surprised there was much roughhousing involved. Still, everyone had a great time, despite the multitude of aches and pains. If you'll excuse me, I need to lie down now. The earlier debate between Mr. Hammond and Mr. Darling was quite worrying. If our navigator and our engineer are at odds, a divide will form amongst the crew. They're both reasonable men, it won't come to that. We can only hope. The crew is like the body. Each organ must be working in tandem if we are to survive. Alrighty. Ooh, more overhearing? So this is as warm as it gets down here. Still cold, isn't it? You think you're cold? Wait till you have old bones like mine. I hope I'm not still stuck here when I'm old. Warm one day, relatively speaking. I never understood how we could grow so used to the cold. I can't even handle a proper summer back home these days. Har! An island summer might just what I need when this is done. That sounds nice. Have you guys ever gone to, like, the Caribbean or anywhere warm in the ocean? It's pretty nice. Alright, we need to send people out for food. Let's see if we can't find better food than those things. Scout ahoy. We found some science. You scouted as well. Ah, leopard seal! A leopard seal is a good one. Large game is dangerous despite how many are assigned. Somebody will be wounded. That is fine. We can get them patched up in a jiffy. Send them beyond the pale. Off they go. Now, who do we assign? Alright, so Runt is now part of the engineer crew. We will still assign him to Crab Eater Seal. And then you two get assigned here. And then also one of the scientists. I goofed it. You two get assigned. Send Runt as well, because nobody else is freezing. And then send one of the scientists. And then send them beyond. Why aren't you going? Is it because Runt is here? What did I do wrong? Some of you may die, but that is a risk I'm willing to take. Sent wave after wave of my own... Oh, it's because we don't have any dogs! Bah! I goofed. Well, that's not good. I wish I hadn't explored so much. My bad. So now we have a bunch of crew that can't do anything. Got lots of food. We need to feed the furnace. And we need to do it... Let's do it with the flare. And then both elephant seals. And one penguin. Leave. I guess we'll just have somebody talk to Kasha. Send Runt in there, I guess. Interview. Got some decorum and some research. Can I... You're already busy, unfortunately. You guys are not hurt, so you're just kind of sitting around. Unfortunate. Yeah, and there's not really anything else for us to do. Yeah, nothing in the kennels. Okay, well, it is what it is. Alright, have our dinner. We're all pissed off at each other because of the song. I still think it was very funny how we had like that like big argument and then we like immediately just had a normal conversation with him after the fact. Dinner is shared and stories are traded. Hey, he's back with we're gonna fucking bust this this goddamn accordion this time. I swear to God. Let's talk to Kasha. Before I joined this expedition, I was concerned how my report would be received. I'm certain the wreck makes for a more interesting story, but before that it felt like interest in the great explorers is waning. Then why did you take the story? Well, interest wasn't waning with me. I grew up on these tales, don't know where I'd be without them. Others may not care these days, but they stick with me. I hope another child latches onto this story. Alrighty. Wasn't looking at my contract, Captain. After you and Templeton, I'm next in command. So don't bloody die, I don't want the responsibility. Well, now I can't die, I don't want to be subject the crew to your leadership. Ha! You've got that bloody right, Captain. He's got a good sense of humor. I like Hammond as well. Mood. Isaac. I've been thinking, Shaw. If this expedition is indeed the end of the line for Kurt Darling, I wonder how they'll speak of me when I fail to return. What will the newspapers say? Newspapers? What of your family? They'll herald your return and nothing more. Don't lose faith. Ever the optimist, Captain. I suppose I should think the same, for the crew's sake at least. Funny, isn't it? No matter what you do in life, you never get to see your own legacy. Oh, she's not in here. I'm surprised. Well, you guys ready for this? Oh boy. You notice the sailors still seated around the campfire, listening with rapt attention as Grimly plays his accordion. The same song from last week. More of the crew have since joined in. Well, here we go. Captain, do you hear this? This has gone on long enough, don't you think?
Captain has a
I agree. This will continue until you put a stop to it. Your leadership is in question. You have to act.
Never tells which way is south.
Without hesitation, you lunge yourself forward and pull the accordion from Grimly's hands. You throw the instrument overhead, plunging it into the snow. You raise your boot and drive your boot into the center of the device. It lets out a sad wheeze, gasping its last. You continue to stomp until Grimly regains his composure, pulling you back and holding you by the scruff of your neck in a fit of rage. What the hells are you doing? Does anyone here have a problem with that? The crowd is silent. Slowly the crowd begins to disperse. Templeton gives you a knowing nod as you walk away. I mean, like, if he had been like, it's just playful japery, and we're just passing the time, I would have given him the benefit of the doubt, and I've been like, you know what, they are just being goofballs, and they do, you know, it's like, the crew will make fun of management. That's not a problem. But he, like, openly to my face said I'm an asshole, and I'm calling you out. You can't stand for that, especially in a survival situation. I've noticed old Kurt has been butting heads with the engineer lately. Not surprised. Mr. Hammond has butted heads with just about everyone so far. That mole man ought to be careful who he speaks to. He's fortunate Kurt is so patient. Let's be fair, Kurt can be stubborn as the rest at times. I mean, besides the loss of loyalty and decorum, that wasn't too bad. Yeah, I mean, I was already in the doghouse with Grimly anyway, so, like, losing 50 loyalty from Grimly, who cares? And yeah, Templeton's, like, in my corner now. And yeah, I lost a little decorum, but our decorum's doing pretty good, so... That honestly wasn't that bad overall. Can't believe that from Shaw. Fragile captains like that all over it. It happens. Still, a shame. Poor Grimly. Well, whatever. I'm lost my patience with that guy. How are my favorite crew members? Lady Cordell? Tired. They need their rest. I won't disturb them then. You know, you should treat them more often. They receive all the treats they need, I assure you. Captain, you did the right thing tonight. The sailors may hate you for it now, but a display like that, they will respect it come morning. Yeah, we'll see. I'm still not sure about that. Oh, are you ice fishing? Yes. Are you interested? My father would take me quite often. I have some experience. Of course, it's a different story on the ice. Feel free to take the reins, Doctor. Oh, thank you. Perhaps a bit later. Alright. Rest for you. Stanberry and Pascal were engaged in a fight this morning, a more serious matter than the usual scrap. I put a stop to it, but it is concerning. The two often get along. Perhaps the pressure is finally getting them. The ice can do this to people. Dogs are no different. I would hope not, but you may be right. Stress can affect us all, can it not? I will have to be more gentle with that pair in the coming weeks. Well, we have 2 dogs that we didn't use today. Let them have a day off or something. The doggy day off. Can't tend to the furnace. Did we already talk to you two? Good evening, Captain. I escaped a talk with Kurt over dinner. He kept asking about my plans for the future. I didn't know what to say. Do you not have any plans? Well, I suppose I have wants. Not much in the way of an actual plan. I hope I can answer that properly in the future. That will be the first step of my plan. Plan to plan. Step 1. Need to finish developing these. Alright. Have a nice night, Kasha. Did we assign somebody to you? We did indeed. I think it was Runt. How did we get 6 people available all of a sudden? Are they done ice fishing already? Rats. I wish I hadn't sent so many people to explore. We can't hunt elephant seals either. We need more research. Alas. Okay, so we have enough food for normal food. We don't have enough fuel. We'll only develop 2 crew members with freezing, but we have to be careful with that because we only have 2 engineers. So if a bunch of people develop freezing from just like the normal timeout, we don't have a lot of fuel. I think we gotta try. It's gonna be risky, and the person who's malnourished will be cured, so that'll be good. And then we can throw anybody who's left over freezing can be stuck in the tent. Lefty got froze. Runt's dad got froze. Lefty was wounded. Dick is no longer malnourished. 2 Johns is freezing. Mrs. Gloss is freezing again, as always. That's not so bad. 4 people freezing? I'll take that. And one of them's wounded already, so we'll just throw him in the medical tent. A little risk never hurt anybody. In the frozen ice world. I don't know about that, Isaac. Oh, it's nighttime. This is a new thing. A small group of emperor penguins have waddled near to camp. You notice Mr. and Mrs. Gloss studying them closely. Look, dear, aptenodytes. How extraordinary. Astounding. This must be the first sightings of their rookery. Astounding, I say. Let's talk with Hammond. That Kurt doesn't know what he's on about. Lost in his own little world he is. Must think it's still 30 years ago. Man begged and pleaded to even be here, just to feel important. Ah, he wasn't asked to come. He was a charity case. Kurt, do I, seem afraid of the sled dogs, that is? Well, are you? No. Have you ever owned a dog as a pet? No, my family does own several cats. Cat person, confirmed. I'd be more afraid of those clawed beasties than I feared a little pup. I suppose you're right. Let's see here. So let's go to the tent here. We're gonna drop off our wounded old man. You done get in here. Command to rest, old guy. We will leave the tent behind. We'll go to the furnace. Feed the furnace. Oops, not feed the furnace. I want to ask the engineers to raise the heat. Healed 2 of the freezings. I'm going to leave this one alone. And if it progresses to frostbite, we can fix them in the med tent to next week. Yeah, next week. Okay, enter the request tent. Take the requests for today. Holy Lord in heaven! Why are there so many penguins? An emperor penguin waddles into the tent. Rah! Templeton looks at you confused. Captain? It watches you carefully. Rah! Templeton looks unamused. Ridiculous. It watches you carefully, and then just stands there. We gotta get this guy. Waddles into the tent. He squawks again. He looks at the bird begrudgingly. Shoo. He watches you carefully. Oh, he's gone! He finally left. Alright, Mr. Gloss, what's up? Captain, a truly urgent request. Well, perhaps not urgent, but well, inspiration strikes. Collect yourself, Mr. Gloss. Right, well, this perfect opportunity to write up a proper study on the birds of this region. I ask that some of the science team be allowed this week to write up our findings. That may risk us losing the opportunity to harvest as many of them for resources as possible. Yes, go ahead. We're going to send out your freezing wife and your buddy. Gained some loyalty. Thank you, Captain. The history books will smile on you for this. We gained decorum. That will make up for the accordion we crushed. Some penguin notes. Let's talk to Zach. Captain, last week's ice fishing was quite the success. We were able to gather a decent haul with some patience. +4 fish! Yeah! More food! Thank you for providing the manpower. Some extra rations will certainly come in handy. Stanberry's here! Arf! Shouldn't you be with your master dog? Please do not bother the captain. Apologies, Shaw. No doubt Stanberry smelled the scent of the latest catch on you. The latest catch? Some fish was added to the stores, I take it. Stanberry has quite the taste for it. Are you suggesting we feed it to the dogs? If you wish, I assure you they have enough to eat, though. I'm certain the pack would enjoy that, but we cannot allow them to grow spoiled. Come, Stanberry. Odd creatures. What's the point of feeding them the fish, then, if they're like, we don't need it, and they could become spoiled? I'm conflicted about feeding the dogs the fish now. Hammond is here? Captain, we need to talk about last week. I'm telling you, if we won't last if we don't hunker down for the winter starting next week. I'm thinking it over, Hammond. I will inform you of my decision. I'll consider it. We already spoke about this. Leave it be. Good. Don't be listening to that washed-up old fool. And speak of the devil! The washed-up old fool has arrived. Captain, that Hammond has quite the temper on him. He's one to dig in his heels at any opportunity. We have enough time before winter. We should focus on hunting. You've been thinking it over, so I feel I should state my case one more time. Very well, I'll take your suggestion under consideration. Kurt puffs out his chest with a smile forming on his face. I knew you'd see sense, Captain, sooner or later. We never said which one we were choosing, boys. Holy shit, there's penguins everywhere! We've been invaded! They're everywhere! Oh no! Let's go. Let's see here. Let's listen in to our doctor. Oh no, there's a penguin in the tent! You notice a penguin has made its way into the medical tent. No, you stay out of here! Ah, a new patient. This one's more ornery than the rest of the crew. It's pecking at my medical bag. I'm sorry, but you can't have what's in there. Did you just apologize to the bird? Well, I don't know how you remove a penguin from your premises. It's penguinvasion! Keep listening. It should be simple, Doctor. Just pick it up by the... What? Well, I was going to suggest under the wings like a child, but that seems unwise. On second thought, good penguin, now shoo. Ah yes, the universal language between man and beast, shoo. Oh, Captain, I could use a little assistance. It seems we have something of an unwelcome guest at camp. There are many more outside, you know. Hold your medical bag high. You're taller than the penguin, in case you forgot. It's just a single bird, Nutley. Just push it out. Okay, this shouldn't be an issue. Nutley gently grabs the bird by the sides. The squawking of the penguin ceases as he gingerly leads it out of the tent flaps. There, done. Now you can handle the rest of the camp. This comes across as, like, incredibly patronizing. Let's do it. Yes! Ha! I do suppose I was getting worked up over a small issue. That's normal, on the ice. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to grab as many shots of the colony as I can before they're gone. If our tent has another vicious bag-pecking intruder, let me know. Wonderful. You hear a baby penguin sneeze. It's still sneezing. Achoo! It more sneezes. How long can I do this? Alright, it's just more sneezes forever. How about a penguin squawk? Still squawking. Are these real penguin sounds, or are they like a facsimile of penguin sounds? Arf, says Stanberry. Calm, Stanberry. They're just curious of our presence here. Arf, arf. Yeah, the dog's not going to be having that, I don't think. Okay, before we send anybody out today, actually, I wanna see if we can like hunt the penguins here. Assign crew to hunting the entire colony. Could send 6 people to do so. Assign a team to hunt some of the colony. Is 1 to 4. Let's do some of the colony. We don't want to kill all of them, I don't think. Be a little brutal. The team get to work. Good job. And then let's send some people out. Send some people to investigate. We'll only send 2 scouts today. We got fish all the way out there. Let's go for some of the seals, maybe? Send you 2. Maybe send the engineer? And then the remaining scout? There, I like that. That's a good day's work. Alright, back to, and we are all out of actions for today. So let's go feed our pot. We've got loads of penguins going on in here. Fill up the pot with penguins. There, that's pretty good. Feed the hoosh. No spice food. And then we need to feed the furnace with our last elephant seal. The fish... Oh, interesting. The fish are good for a good amount of food, but they cause malnutrition. That's interesting. Let's throw in 1 more flare. And we'll call that good. I didn't actually throw the flare in there. Okay. I think that's all we can do. So let's pass the time. The crew have their meal, surrounded by penguins. Dinner is shared and stories are traded. The penguin colony moves on. Oh, they're all gone. Goodbye, penguins. Well, we don't have to deal with the accordion nonsense anymore, so good on us. Mr. Kurt and Mr. Hammond are still at odds, I see. The engineer and the navigator butting heads. That's not a good sign, is it? They're smart men, Doctor. I'm sure they'll reach a peaceful agreement in time. I would hope so. There's no need to worry. This will pass. Kasha's so level-headed. Captain, there's something I wanted to ask you. Something difficult. If I don't make it back to land, someone will have to tell my family. Face to face. Not through a letter from the benefactor. And I want it to come from someone I trust. Could you? Of course, Captain. I'll do better. I'll ensure you see your family again. Thank you, but I can't hold you to that promise. Who knows what could happen out on the ice? I'm not going to allow you to carry that burden for my sake. Well, fine. I'll kill you myself. Captain, I've made a decision. I know enough of these expeditions. There's no guarantee I will return home. My writings are inside a case alongside Mr. Nutley's equipment. If the rest of you return to land without me, I want my writings to be published. Finished, unfinished, it doesn't matter. I'll make sure of that, Kasha, I promise. Thank you, Captain. Thank you. I I'm only following this crew's story. It shouldn't die with me. Cool. I got you, girl. Oh, good evening to you, Captain. Apologies for the distraction. I was enjoying a textbook. Anything interesting? This was the first textbook I've ever read when entering the field of botany. I'm more than familiar with it, front to back. Still, it's more beneficial to reacquaint myself with the field of expertise, particularly when I have spent such time now removed from it. What caused you to pursue botany as a study? A fascination with a class of life form that predates us by a millennia, and will survive us by millennia. Nerd. Isaac. Do you want to know why plant life interests me to this degree, Captain? Enlighten me. A plant's primary goal is to ensure the continued survival of their species, yet the plant is stationary, vulnerable. What I find truly impressive is how they have developed to take advantage of their circumstance. They take advantage of the actions of others to ensure their own existence. Take your average apple tree, for instance. Birds come, they feast upon the fruit, and the seeds stored within scatter to the ground, ensuring another will grow. Quite an ingenious system, is it not? A form of life so seemingly simple has outsmarted just about every other species that would otherwise cause it harm. And yet not a single plant can survive out here. I think we have them beat there. You may have a point, Shaw. Perhaps I take human ingenuity too lightly. Well, I assume this topic is quite a bore for you. I won't keep you any longer, Captain. Thank God. Those two were bickering again over dinner. Hammond and Kurt? Both of them were talking shite. Someone should talk to them. I know where a punch-up is brewing. Arf! Eyeing up my dinner, are ya? You ain't getting a sniff of this. Get running back to your master. I keep switching between like an American and a Scottish accent for him. Arf. Alright, just a bite. Reading something? Yes, a book on poetry. Can you read one? On poetry? Not of poetry. This is an analysis of the technique. Oh, I've always wanted to read. That's so? You wouldn't mind helping, would you? I suppose I could lend you a book. Something simple. Thank you. Two Johns is a cool guy. I like him. I'm just like coming up with a tier list of people in this game in my head. Alright. Air is a bit tense these days, isn't it? Not surprised. Time's catching up to us, right? Can't take another week looking out at nothing but the ice. Nice dogs. Do you not have work to do, child? What are their names? Oh, God. The one you're petting, that's Maxwell. That's a person's name, isn't it? Are they all that boring? No. Captain, there's a matter I wish to bring to your attention. I intend to train one of the crew to handle the kennel in case if the worst should occur, I do not wish the crew left without a kennel master. A good idea, Cordell, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. Thank you. I will ensure someone suitable is chosen. But we will speak more on this later. This is your time of rest, correct? Indeed. Was thinking, if I die... Oh, I went south now. This man is from everywhere, every corner of the earth. The crew's fucked. My work would be wasted if I end up going under. Captain, if I go, you better keep them alive. I'm not keen on dying for nothing. If you die, I'm just as lost as the rest of them. I promise you, Hammond, nothing you do will be in vain. Better not. I don't ask much, Captain. I ask you that. I trust you, better than most on the ice. Do you? No, you don't, you liar. But you're pretty close. We're getting there. We're getting there with Cordell, too. Yeah, Grimley's in the friggin' pits. He hates us. Understandable. We broke his instrument. But we don't need him. We need his brother and everybody else. So. Kurt? Captain, you have a pen, don't you? There's something I need to write. Of course. I've been giving a great deal of thought. I'm going to make sure we all make it back home. But if I don't, I want you to pass something on. Should I die, I want the ownership rights of my films divided up amongst my children. That will set them up for many years. Could you pass that on for me, Robin? I'd be honored to carry that out if it comes to that. Thank you, Robin. I knew I could trust you. I got you. Don't you worry. Alright, I think we've talked to everybody. So let's rest. now the hard part. So we got fuel rations. I'm thinking we go down. Because we have 2 engineers now that we can deal with freezing with. And let's do normal rations for people. And call that good. Got some seal. Got some crew. Gnomes was freezing. Tashi is freezing. Lefty was cured. Lefty was cured. Runt's dad is freezing. Runt is freezing. Okay, we only got 4. We can fix that with both of our engineers. I was like, who the fuck is Robin, before remembering Shaw isn't your first name. I know, at the beginning they were like, Robin Shaw! And then like, barely do they ever use my character's first name.